For this video, I wanted to do a quick list of horror recommendations. For every letter of the alphabet, I'll pair a movie with it. I'll keep each entry brief, but for every single entry, these are high recommends. Attack of the Beast Creatures. This is a fun regional horror movie that involves shipwrecked survivors facing off against little flesh-eating creatures. This all takes place in the woods, which is supposed to be an island, and there's even a scene involving acid water. This is just a fun brain-melting watch. The Black Room. This one I'm going to keep super vague. This is one that I mentioned on the 2024 Discoveries video. This is a dreamy take on 70s and early 80s serial killers that has an amazing ending that recontextualizes the entire movie. Carnival of Souls. This is a movie that has never left my mind after seeing it. I think it's one of the creepiest movies to come out of the 60s. The dreamlike logic of this movie works so well and will work for the viewer if you allow it to. Don't Let the River Beast Get You. Coming from the Moturn Media universe, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite movies. Boiled down, this is a monster movie parody, but it is populated by such likable characters, some of the funniest dialogue, and the fall atmosphere of a small town is in every shot of this movie. Eight-Legged Freaks. This is such a fun movie and boosts a wonderful balance of horror and comedy. I love the aspect of this threat building and building before it spills out into this whole desert town, where you have a whole band of survivors trying to fight these giant spiders. It is just such a fun time. Fright Night Part 2. The first Fright Night is one of my favorite movies, but I had only seen the second one once before. I recently rewatched this and was kind of blown away as to how fun this movie is. I love the trio of villains that are basically the henchmen for the main vampire. Ginger Snaps. Again, this is one of my favorite movies. The fall atmosphere here is the best ever. Everything is bathed in warm colors, but it's the performances by Katharine Isabelle and Emily Perkins which make this movie great. Hold That Ghost. This is one of the horror comedies from Abbott and Costello that I feel sometimes gets sidelined compared to the signature Meat movies. But this one has always been a highlight. You've got a wonderful creepy setting with this old dark house, and the jokes that they bring to the setting is just perfect. I Drink Your Blood. Whenever I think of a 70s exploitation film, this is the first one I think of. This is essentially a 60s drug film, but jacked up with rabies. Just Before Dawn. This comes from Jeff Lieberman, who I am a big fan of his movies. This slasher from 1981 is one of the quintessential backwoods slashers that has one of the greatest finales ever for a horror movie. Colobos. This is a bizarre movie from 1999 that I feel is like a mashup of Cube from 2 years before and what was to come with Saw 5 years later. There is a certain combination of the villain in this movie and the house setting that actually makes it pretty scary for me. Long Weekend. This is one of the most atmospheric and creepiest movies I've ever seen. While technically billed as an animal attack movie, this goes so much deeper, and the true horror of the movie comes from what happens to this married couple and what they do to each other, both physically and psychologically. Malatesta's Carnival of Blood. This movie will definitely not be for everybody. It's incredibly regional, but I have not seen a more hypnotic regional horror movie than this. It gets so surreal with the carnival setting and these zombies that keep wandering around and eating people. It's just such a fantastic experience. Night of the Scarecrow. Directed by the underrated Jeff Burr, this is a perfect Halloween movie. You have a quiet town surrounded by cornfields and some truly wonderful practical creature and gore effects that feel directly out of The Evil Dead. Orca the Killer Whale. I think this movie gets undeservedly tossed aside a lot when discussing the animal attack genre. This has some fantastic effects work, melding the animatronics with real whale footage. Plus, it's one of the rare animal attack films that is also a revenge movie. I love this movie. Pin. This is a fantastic psychological horror movie with a fantastic performance by David Hewlett. The tension continues to increase as things get worse and worse. Plus, it has one of the creepiest dummies in any movie. Cue the Winged Serpent. If you're in the mood for a fun monster movie, this is a perfect one. Larry Cohen always tries to deliver something that is entertaining and charming no matter the budget. Plus, all the performances are fantastic. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I wanted to highlight this movie again. The first Return of the Living Dead is one of my favorite movies, but I also love Part 2. I love the goofiness of it and the fact that it all is set in a neighborhood that's being constructed. Squirm. Here is another Jeff Lieberman movie that has some wonderfully gross effects work, and the setting is just perfect for October. Them. This is one of my favorite giant monster movies, and it wastes no time in showing the giant ants in full glory. It's genuinely scary in parts, and the ants look incredible. The Unseen. This is a very gnarly horror movie from director Danny Steinman, which has some genuine atmosphere and bonkers performances. Venom. This is a fantastic genre mashup, where you have a hostage movie, a crime movie, and an animal attack movie, and you mash them together. Winter Beast. Even though that it has winter in the title, this is a fall heavy movie, and the bonkers fact up is jacked all the way to the top. This has some wonderfully charming stop motion sequences to it. Extro. On the topic of bonkers, this is one of the poster childs for this term. Super atmospheric and such a wonderfully weird movie with some amazing practical effects. Your vice is a locked room, and only I have the key. I've talked about this movie before, but this is a really effective molding of Giallo with Edgar Allan Poe. I think those combinations are perfect for October. Zombie. I recently rewatched this movie and was kind of blown away by it, especially the wonderful atmosphere. It sent me down a rabbit hole of filling in blind spots in Fulci's filmography, and I came away with a newfound appreciation for his work. And that's it. I wanted to keep this video kind of brief and each of the entries brief, but I just wanted to offer some recommendations for people that may be not on everybody's radar. And so I'd love to hear some off-the-wall horror recommendations from everybody else. Alright, that's it.